So we most definitely are here again. So to start off, Repzilla has responded. Not only did I put it in the pinned comment for the last video, but I also have it in the description, so you can read through it. Because sorry, I feel like if I don't say it, then people are just gonna miss it. Because just having a pinned comment is not enough. That's what I did with my last video about my mistake. If I don't actually say it, I don't believe that it can be accounted for. So, Repzilla said this, and you can prove that is what he exactly said, because not only is there a screenshot in the thumbnail, but also have his response linked. So, I thank everyone for reaching out. The reality is that I can't cover everything that is sent to me. Not to mention, I have a friend that helps me with Instagram replies. I can honestly say that I'm sorry. I don't know who they are, and I'm sorry I couldn't cover whatever it was. So that's what he said. This is very disingenuous. If you're actually sorry, then not only say it publicly, but also say it privately. Because he responded to the first part of the thread, not the others. So I have everything, all links and everything from my last video in my description here. That includes Callies' video, Redskis, Priminks, my past 2 videos. So basically, why I think it's disingenuous. He says, I cannot cover that is sent to me. Everything that is sent to me. It means he knows what was sent. And he knows like the actual thing. And he says, I have a friend that helps me with Instagram replies. This is the first time this has ever been mentioned. And if you have a friend that's helping you with Instagram replies, they would tell you, right? Because if someone's coming with you with a giant case that you can make a lot of money out of and reputation, wouldn't your friend tell you? And nowhere in Reese's conversation do you see the friend state they're not actually Repzilla. No one in the conversation was ever stated that it was not Repzilla. So in the entire conversation, we can honestly assume that it was actually Repzilla. Well, yes, he does say Instagram replies. Gonna give him the benefit of doubt. Maybe he means messages. Because replies, that's sounding like you're just replying to comments on your posts. And not to mention, my message got ignored. If you really have a friend helping you, wouldn't my message be opened? Just saying. So, I also believe it's disingenuous because he says, I can honestly say that I'm sorry. I don't know who they are. They're talking about Reese. Because they choose to ignore the des part. Perhaps they chose to ignore the des part. I know I repeated myself, but I'm trying to put emphasis on it. He ignored the fact that he most likely, just gonna say that, knew who Des was and had hurt them in one of his videos. And I pointed that out. And he's not apologized for it because he only decided to read the first piece of the thread. If you're actually sorry, read the entire thing. And I'm sorry I couldn't cover whatever it was. You chose to go after Eugenia Cooney, but not an actual pedophile. That really shows where I don't know the word. It shows where your morals lie. Because you chose to go after a girl suffering from an ED and not a pedophile? I'm sorry, but Eugenia Cooney hasn't done primarily anything wrong. Like, most of the videos I've seen are just misinformation. But, like, an actual pedophile with 4 victims confirmed currently. But at the time, it was around 3. So, yeah. Also, mentioned that, you know how I mentioned Eugenia Cooney? Sorry, I'm stuttering. He says he's sorry about what he did to Eugenia. Yet some of his videos are still up. Like, a lot of his videos are still up. I have a screen recording linked in the description of his videos still up about Eugenia Cooney. If you really are sorry, just take them all down. It's very simple. I don't care if you lose views, I don't care if you lose money. Because, what's more valuable? A person's life and well-being, or money? I know most people are going to say, like, one or the other. But, you know, that's beside the point. Would you rather be honest and not make as much money, but still have a good reputation of being honest, than make a crap ton of money based on misinformation or lies you could easily be exposed for? Just saying. Like, we've all done things we regret. I personally have. I'm not gonna hide it. What's the point? If people are gonna find it, people are gonna find it. And if you wanna, like, if you are sorry for something, apologize for it. If someone brings it up to you, you apologize. Also, I thank everyone for reaching out. It wasn't that many people, Rep. I was mainly the only one who tagged you. I tagged you in the subthread. And, yeah, it was only about less than 30 people who interacted. As in, like, retweeted, liked, and stuff. So the fact that I got back to you, and yet you ignore a lot of things, like, Reeses' screen recording of your convo with her. The fact that Keemstar liked it. The fact that you conveniently ignored that. Yes, that was when you were on hiatus, but that you chose to respond to me and prove yourself disingenuine shows where your responsibilities and morals lie. You put all your cards into one bet. You put all your chips on one bet. You expect to win big. I'm sorry, but you lost. We called your bluff. I do not know anything about poker or card games except blackjack. That's literally it. So, this is the first, I've probably already said this, but this is the first time that a friend has been mentioned that helps with Instagram replies. It's convenient you mention it now, not as in informing your audience about that. Like, if you do have someone helping you, you should really inform your audience. Like, not for the first time with someone you're responding to actual valid criticism. Because people are going to go to you with stuff, with valid criticism, things you should really cover, factual truths, and yet this friend clearly is non-existent. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is and say that the friend doesn't truly exist. They may, but not in the way Repzilla is claiming. Because not only is it the first time he's mentioned it, but you'd think that he would clarify. Like, he could be like, oh hey, if you DM me on Insta, I may not be the one responding. Very simple. You could even put it in your description, or even in your bio. Yet, you don't. didn't you also claim that your racist tweets were made by a mod of yours? Yeah, this is not the first time you've claimed someone else is doing your actions. I'm just saying. If he really is sorry, come on, show us the accountability. Like, he didn't need to cover it. He didn't need to cover the Azzman situation. But he could have at least stated that he didn't want to. Could have done what Repzilla did and say, I don't want to cover this. Yeah, he could have done that. But he didn't. And yes, I'm in the current process of trying to see if Des, the wonderful Des, has any interactions with Repzilla. Because if they do, I am gonna prove that Repzilla knew exactly who Des was. This is just up in the air currently. But if I can find any sliver of proof that Repzilla had interacted with Des before, I'm gonna bring it. Okay? Because if he knows who Des was, which obviously he does, then it shows that he wants to put all of his chips on one bet, hoping no one calls his bluff. And yet, here we are. Thank you for this. I know my content's mainly been structured on Repzilla, because the past videos are structured on him. But due to this situation unfolding, I want to get my voice out there. Because I've kind of blown the whistle on stuff. That's me kind of joking about the situation, because even if I didn't say anything, the situation would still have gone as it did. Okay? Thank you for that, and I'll see you another day. Probably tomorrow, but you never know how this stuff goes. Bye.